We were talking about Brian McGrattan and what happened last night in the American Hockey League. And Brian's was a long-time NHLer, played a bunch of games in the NHL. He's been down in the American Hockey League this year, playing in San Diego. He got into a fight last night, and it was tough to watch. I mean, he went down, and the stretcher came out, but he sent you a text earlier, and he said, "I'm all good."
Yeah.
And he said, "You want to come on and talk about it?" And he said, "Yeah, man.
Why not?
Call me up." So let's bring him in here. Here is Brian McGrattan. How you doing, Brian?
Hey guys, how you doing? Not bad, good.
So you feeling all right?
Yeah, I feel fine.
You all good today, or
fine
what?
last night when I got back. So, just precautionary reasons, I'm going to head back to San Diego today. With another guy on our team got hurt last night. Our Karski, our new goalie, got hurt, so we're both going to head back today. I'm just going to go back and hang out. Team gets back Sunday, so check in every day with the training staff and get reassessed next week when the team gets back. So,
Is it talk us through the protocol you went through last night. Obviously, you go through the fight, and then what happened afterwards?
yeah, I mean, obviously with the the baseline concussion test with the doctors in the room, and then jumped in an ambulance, and I didn't get stretchered, and I'd walked myself in the ambulance, and we just went over to the hospital. I'd do a quick CT scan, check bones in my face, make sure there's no bleeding and all that stuff. So everything came back fine. And then just came back and hung out, watched a little bit of TV, and went to bed.
Is it when it happens to you? Do you have any interest in watching the video? Are you going to go back and watch the fight and what happened?
No, you know what? I don't watch any of my fights. Really, I've never really watched any of them, so I don't really feel there's a need to watch that. I know what happened. I remember it. It was a good shot. I mean, we were going pretty good there, and there's some couple spots in your chin there. You get tagged there, you're going down. So, I mean, it's the way it is. I mean, that's a little, that's most I've ever been knocked down. But, I've been doing it a long time. I've been a very, very good fighter for a long time, and I haven't lost a whole lot. And I've never really been vocal about that. I've been very humble about it because I know losses do come, and sometimes they come like that. But when I lose like that, that doesn't change anything for me. That's not going to change the way I approach going to the rink, change how I'm going to play. It's not going to change anything. I mean, I'm always ready for something like that for happening, and maybe that's why. Maybe I won so much. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but is it an ego shock and anything like that? To me, no, it's not. I mean, it's part of it. Part of fighting. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose bad sometimes. You got to give a tap to the other guy too. You're fighting, but obviously there's a certain crowd that doesn't like that stuff. But and there's a certain crowd of people that do like that stuff. So, I'm fine. My family knows I'm fine. That's the main concern, is how they feel. I called my wife and my parents right after yesterday to just let them know everything was fine, and that I was okay. So that was the main concern. And then obviously letting everybody else know, friends and all that. So.
We're chatting with Brian McGrattan, who got into a fight last night in the American Hockey League and was knocked out. But as he said afterwards, he was okay and he's fine, and he's talking to us now. You mentioned that maybe a reason why you've been so good is because you went into it realizing that at some point you could lose. But once the gloves are off, are you still thinking that? I mean, at what point do you get into the moment and you just say a fight is a fight and I can't think about the repercussions?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? The thing is, when I fight, is I don't get nervous. I don't get anxious. I'm in like a really calm place. Like it's, but on the other side of it, you in the back of my head, I do know what can happen. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen. That can happen. What happened last night? I can slip, fall. Linesman can fall on me. I can, the other guy that I'm fighting can fall on me. I can tear a knee, tear a shoulder, get cut by a skate. There's a whole whack of different things that can happen. in a fight. That thought's always there in the back of your head. I mean, you have to be prepared for that, and I've been prepared for it every time. I mean, there's always a risk. There's a risk throughout the entire hockey game too. You know, I can get hit from behind. I can trip on a stick. You know, there's a whole lot of injuries that can happen throughout an entire hockey game, just the same as it can in the fight. So, I mean, you know, the thought's always there, and the risk for injury in that sport is always there.
We're chatting with Brian McGrattan. You mentioned earlier that you've won a lot of fights and you've never been knocked out like that, but I'm sure you have knocked other guys out in the past. Now that you've gone through it, does it change the way you look back on those fights?
No, not really. Not really at all, no. No, it doesn't change my approach or change my thought towards it at all. No.
That's the one thing we were talking about before you came on is, you know, fighting is down in the National Hockey League. Fighting is down kind of all over. And, you know, the thought process is it still a deterrent, do you believe, as far as, you know, somebody who's done it his whole career? Do you believe that fighting still has a place in the game and can be a deterrent at any level?
Deterrent, no. In the NHL, it's changed so much up there. I mean, but in the American League, yeah, I think it is. You know, you got kids that are fresh out of junior, fresh out of college. I mean, some of the guys down here are a little crazier than they are up there. I mean, career minor league guys that are like to run around, scare guys, and run around and hit. Some guys are good fighters. I mean, so that sense of protection is there to a pretty good extent here. I mean, in the NHL, it shifted so much in the last, you know, couple of years. I mean, before I would say, yeah, it was. Now, I don't know. See, I'm not like I'm more of like a moderate fight fan. I think it does have a place in the game to a certain extent. I think it I think it does take away a lot from the game, and sometimes it does. I think things get stupid, and it does take a lot away from the game. But down here, it does have a place. I think that, you know, I think I was only like my fourth fight this year, maybe fourth or fifth. I mean, I've been fighting a whole lot, but the sense of protection and the deterrent thing, I think, does have a purpose down in the American League, just on the amount of youth that you're surrounded by. I mean, we have a little bit of an older team here. We have 6 vets. You know, we're all over 30. I mean, but not a lot of teams are like that. Some teams only carry maybe 2 vets, and everybody else is from age 22 to 24. I mean, you walk into some arenas, they're going to run you right out of the rink. So, in this league, yes. In the NHL, no, I don't think so. Not so much anymore.
Well, we're glad you're okay, and we really appreciate you taking some time for us and going through everything that happened and where it's all going to go from here. And I'm sure we'll get a chance to catch up again down the road. So good luck with everything, and thanks for doing this, Brian. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Brian McGrattan from the San Diego Gulls.